All right, it's time for another palette ranking. We are at volume 23. Who can believe it? It's been so many eyeshadow palettes since I started this. But let's go ahead and jump on into this palette ranking. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So it is time for another palette ranking. We are at volume 23, like I just mentioned. If you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you're older but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashley. Now, I got 4 palettes. It's not a lot of palettes, but it's the palettes that I've recently tried. Not a lot of palettes have been coming into my collection as of lately. I feel like sometimes the palette market kind of slows down during this little time period, but there are a couple that I have my eye on that release at the end of the month. This is May, what is it? I think today's the 26th. Yeah, it's May 26th. I think there's a few that released on the 31st that I have my eye on. I know I have my eye on one of the Klarity palettes, one of the Mermazing palettes that they're coming out with. But I figured let's go ahead. Let's talk about these palettes that I have recently tried, just in case you have your eye on them, just in case maybe the brand has a sale. Also, so we don't forget about them. And I like to give my final thoughts. So these palette rankings are a way for me to give my thoughts, kind of rank which ones I've been loving so much thus far. And like, it's just a good way to talk about the palettes. I always like to come back, wrap up, let you know how I feel about the palettes once I've been using them, because just because you see the video there where I do 3 looks or first impression, that is not the only time I'm using these palettes. And if I haven't used something, I'm always going to be honest with you, okay? But one of the first people that I started to do rankings was Kelsey Brianna J, and they've been so much fun. So like I said, I have 4 palettes. Usually they've been like the last couple of rankings, I don't think I was actually really able to rank them, but I did have like my number 1s and my number 2s. So, but this little set, because it was 4 and a little bit, you know, more streamlined, I was able to rank them. And all of these palettes I really do enjoy. It's just how they kind of fell amongst each other, okay? So coming in at number 4, I was not. I mean, when I say I was not, I was steadfast, I was holding strong. I was not going to purchase this palette. This is the Adept Cosmetics Cyborg Choir palette. Now, you know I love some Adept Cosmetics, so what would make me not want to purchase this palette? Well, it's beautiful. I think we can both agree it's very colorful, it's very beautiful. And I said, well, I'm not going to purchase this palette because I felt very strongly that it looked like a lot like Element 115, which came out around the Christmas time. And I got it. I did a video. It's called FOMO Set In. And the FOMO did set in because I saw the swatches again once it restocked. And I said, I was sadly mistaken. Got it. Sadly mistaken. This is not at all like the Element 115 palette. There are some subtle similarities. We have a lot of purples, we have a lot of blues, we have the pop of yellow, just like in the Element 115. But these are so much punchier, so much vibrant, and it's just the way the colors transmit. Plus, there are a lot of holochrome shades in there. You know, I do love a holochrome, but these are not the holochromes where they're super aggressive or the super chunky flakes, but they're just kind of subtle and twinkle across the eye. It has so many beautiful combinations. And this shade right here, Digital Harmony. Oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. It is like that gray base multi-chrome that I love so much. The blue shades, even though there are 3 blues, they don't look alike. The pinks and the purples don't look alike. Now, I would say that Cybernetic Spark is probably one of the more crossover shades into how the Element 115 is. And then Cyber Symphony is a little bit. All the mattes are really nice, except for this one, 7. I was like, okay, this yellow, she's not working for me. She doesn't look like much. You don't see much. So it's just kind of, it is what it is. But When I tell you, just gorgeous, gorgeous shades, the Adept formula, the classic Adept formula, so you're not going to have any problem. I definitely always recommend using a glitter glue with this particular palette or any of their Adept palettes because their shades are so foiled. And I do have another Adept palette right now, which I will tell you about in just a moment. Now, I did purchase that with my own money. This palette I did not purchase with my own money, and I received my first PR from Ensley Cosmetics. And if you have been around on the channel, you know I have been loving their palettes, especially this format, the Flower Moon or the Moon palettes. It started with Harvest Moon for me, and then that Cold Moon palette, you know is my baby. Love me some Groovy Garden, and now I have Flower Moon. So they've been watching my videos, so thank you so much. And they said that they will send this out to me. And this palette actually restocked, but all thoughts are my own. And I did 3 looks using this palette, and I've had a lot of fun going in and dipping in with this particular palette. And this is what it looks like right here. It's a nice arrangement of shades. I do feel like it is a little green heavy for sure, but you do have a nice variety of greens. However, I would say stick to 1 or 2 shades if you're using the greens, and you kind of have to look at them because a lot of times with the multi-chromes, you know, it will literally kind of read all the same on your eyes, and that's not what, you know, you kind of want. It was just kind of literally just look all the same, and you know, that kind of makes it a little frustrating. I do feel like the matte choices are really great. I don't know what's been going on with me, but I have not been such a huge orange matte fan, but I feel like this shade is beautiful. I really appreciate these shades right here. I was really also impressed with how deep the shades are. These 2 are pretty deep, as well as these shades, so they will translate nicely if you have a deeper skin complexion than me. So I do feel like you will be able to see it. I would say that these shades, like this and this, you couldn't start off with this as a transition and just put this in the crease because they're not really going to layer over each other, you know what I mean? But these 2 somewhat will, and then of course, like you have this nice outer V shade, but the 2 shades that I'm like, just kind of staying away from is that shade. But I feel like there's a nice variety within this palette. I would just definitely say it's very green heavy, but overall the quality of the palette is what I'm getting used to when it comes to Ensley Cosmetics, as I've only been purchasing this brand since I want to say September, October, but right now I'm very thrilled with everything that I've received from them. And I feel like the color combinations that you can get with this palette are really pretty. And even if you mix and match, like I have plenty of Blend Bunny Cosmetics palettes, and put this, like this shade right here is so stinking beautiful. This April Showers shade, the Dahlia, the Flower Moon, the Persephone, Sapling, Sprout. And even though there are a bunch of like multi-colors and shimmer shades, I still find a difference between these and my Adept ones, which is perfect because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, well, how many shimmers and colors can we have, you know? So that was number 3, the Ensley Rain Flower Moon. Next up, oh my gosh, I've just been so thrilled with this palette. This is coming in at number 2. So thrilled. Like, just, it's almost perfection, but not quite. This palette was sent to me as well. This is the DD, excuse me, I can't get it out, DD Signature Ultimate Cappuccino palette. What would make this palette perfect for me are just the matte shades being a little more punchier, especially like the Frappuccinos shades. Now, I do enjoy the orange shade in this particular palette, kind of mixing it with here. It goes with a nice transition shade. Really enjoy the green and the hot chocolate shade. It gives a nice variety. But these shimmers on the bottom row, oh my goodness. They are just absolutely stunning. They're beautiful. I would say if you have more mature eyelids, that they will look nice on you as well, because they just glide across the eye effortlessly, okay? You don't even need a glitter glue for these to participate. You know what I mean? So that's real. Like, I don't mind using a glitter glue, but let's be honest. Like the Flower Moon from Ensley, the Adept, my Pat McGrath, what else? Unearthly. just a lot of my palettes that I use in the indie space, if they are like a texture with a lot of mica, high shine, high foil, multi-chrome, dual chromes, Terra Moon Cosmetics as well, Cleona, like they need a glitter glue or a Pixie Poxy, I believe that's how it's called. They just need some type of glitter primer to participate, because you're in the swatching and be like, that's great. You put on your eyes, not going to translate so much. These are translating, and they are super stunning. I did a photo shoot for my birthday. I used pumpkin spice, or did I use latte? I think I used latte. Gorgeous, along with the Pat McGrath Mothership 1 palette. Wore this on my birthday, wore it another time, and then, oh my gosh, putting this shade with, let me tell you something. I put a little Americano. Here's Americano, okay? So we got Americano. Gorgeous. I mean, just like, this is a good spiced out neutral palette. Put that Americano with the Cyborg palette, because I thought I was going to wear the Cyborg palette because I had on a blue dress, but then, I don't know, something about the way I was putting on the shimmers, they really wasn't working for me that day, and that happens. But I put Digital Harmony with this shade. When I tell you it looks so good, it just didn't even make any sense. So I would just like to see the mattes beefed up. And I feel like sometimes that could be the issue in the indie space. Like, the mattes are not always the best quality that they could be. Like, definitely the shimmers are going to outperform the mattes. That's why sometimes I do gravitate to, maybe I'll use some Pat McGrath and then sprinkle in Adept, or Natasha and sprinkle in Adept, or definitely grab the Blend Bunny formula, because that formula, well, those mattes do not play. Though the Blend Bunny mattes do not play. But this is stunning. If this was on your radar, I would absolutely say go ahead and get it. It is a stunning neutral palette that leaves a lot to be desired, because I don't like neutral palettes that don't do anything. I still need some pizzazz. Just because it's neutral doesn't mean I want subdued per se. You know what I mean? All right. Coming in at number 1, oh man, she did her thing on this one, okay? And this was gifted to me as well, but all thoughts are my own once again. And this is the Adept Cosmetics Amy Loves palette. Oh man, like, girl, Amy, you did your thing on this. It is a cool tone dream, and I actually have on this palette mixed with Element 115. I did film this look. I am trying to decide. Please let me know. I would like to match this palette up with other palettes. Let me know if that's a video that you would be interested in. If not, I'll attach this look. Maybe I plan on doing an updated version of the Adept Cosmetics ranking. So, because I definitely had a request to do that. And there have been quite a few palettes that have dropped since the last time I did an Adept Cosmetics palette ranking. So let me know, because I love mixing and matching my palettes, and I feel like that's a great way for you to get your money's worth. I feel like if you are in this space, you pretty much have a extensive eyeshadow collection. So we need to figure out, how do we get the most bang for our buck, okay? So, but back to Amy and this beautiful, gorgeous, cool tone palette. So she said she set out to create like the most perfect cool tone palette that wasn't too gray, or what was the term that she used? But okay, I can't remember. But at the moment, but look, all of the mattes, yes. Thank you, Amy. And you say, okay, all the mattes are deep. She said she made them deep so they will participate. They will come to play on women of color who have deeper skin complexions than her. And if you watch Amy Loves Makeup, Amy is very fair. So I feel like, thank you for looking out for us, because, you know, you could definitely do a lot of transition. You could do fun and flirty looks. You can do going out looks. You do everyday looks, because the mattes, they are deep, but you're able to kind of keep blending them out so they're a little bit sheerer or not as poignant in color. And then you have like the mauve grays, you have your blue, you got your brown, you got your kind of like, this is a deep, dark, plummy gray. Beautiful, beautiful multi-chromes. This shade Lavender, so gorgeous. That is the shade I'm wearing right here. I have Lights Up right here in the inner corner. And like I said, I have a mixture of the mattes on, also from the Element 115 as far and as the shimmer as well. This one's from the Element 115. But beautiful, beautiful shades. I would just say for me, the shade Pink doesn't really translate that well on my skin complexion. I know this is one of Amy's favorite shades in this palette. And a lot of people were asking me, could this be duped for the Cold Moon palette? I don't think so. Like, I see some similarities, but I just don't think so. I feel like Cold Moon is a little bit more fiery in nature versus this one. And this Cold Moon is definitely cool tone, but some of the shimmers just translate a little bit more fiery depending on which ones you have. But really, really love it. I love how you have like a little bit gold tone. So I feel like this is a good cool tone palette. Like if you are trying to dip your fingers or dip your toe into wearing cool tones, it's a good way to navigate it because I feel like it will look great on multiple skin complexions, especially with the matte choices. So kudos to you. So this was my #1 palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I have been loving my eyeshadows. I love playing with my eyeshadows. So, you know, I had to come on and talk about these palettes because I was like, even though it's 4, you know how the eyeshadow palette game moves, like they'll be lost in the sauce. So I definitely wanted to come in and talk about how much I've been enjoying these particular palettes. So let me know down below. Let me know about this look if you like it and if you would like me to see it do another mashup. I know I'm asking for some direction. Like I'll probably do it anyway, but just let me know, okay? So leave me a comment down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so when I come out with another video, you will be notified, which shall be soon. And subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the chair dance, chair dance. Hey, 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 chair dance. Chair dance. Hey. All right, y'all. Bye.